All right, here we go. What is the job of NFL insiders? Rappaport, Schefter, Tom Pelissero, whatever, any of those guys. Their job is to be the first to report what has happened. Now, man, I don't want to be mean here. Some some are willing to say whatever it takes to constantly get the story first. It's not about getting it right, it's about getting it first. That's the parameters of the job. They're the first reporters and they race and they compete against each other and all those things. So just keep that in mind. We'll talk about it a little bit more. We'll go down that alley in a second. So here's the actual tweet. 2 hours ago, Ian Rapoport at Rap Sheet on Twitter. I'm going to read it word for word. If you're watching this, it's on the screen. But if you're downloading this audio wise, I'll read it word for word. Quote, sources, the hashtag 49ers have received inquiries from several teams looking into a potential trade for former number 3 pick quarterback Trey Lance. The conversations have been the result of SF fielding the calls, not making them, with teams aware that Brock Purdy is the likely future starter. Okay, so let's talk through this because his first day says, look, Niners aren't reaching out. People are reaching out to the Niners. Yes, and they should be. Every single team should be. If you have a quarterback issue, you should turn over every single stone. Now, I will constantly say this. Nowhere does he say the 49ers are wanting to trade them, but he is saying, yeah, they're moving on with Brock Purdy as their starter. I would question that. Brock Purdy is the leader in the clubhouse, as John Lynch say. Brock Purdy should be the guy moving forward when he's healthy. He's not healthy. We have seen, how did Trey Lance lose the job? He got injured, right? How did Jimmy Garoppolo lose his job? He got injured. So those are the things. That's just the way it is. Why did Jimmy Ward lose his job? He got injured. When guys get injured, you can lose your job. We have seen that over and over and over again with the 49ers. Now, Rappaport goes back again right after that and tweets this out. Quote, while no trade is imminent and the 49ers would almost certainly want to make sure Brock Purdy's rehab continues to go as smoothly as it's been going, the interest from other teams in Lance has been there, end quote. So teams are interested. Teams are interested. Now, let's talk about this because he said, you've got to know when Brock Purdy's going to be okay. And this is the problem. I've had this ticker. I have not changed this at the bottom of the screen of the important dates of this offseason. We've had it scrolling across every single episode if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Important dates this offseason. April 17th. We just passed that one. Offseason workouts have begun. The draft, April 27th. We are 9 days away from the draft. You got to keep going down that list until Purdy starts throwing the first week of June based on his 3-month checkup. This is not a 49ers given timeline. This is the timeline of the surgery. They don't go back into his arm and reassess how everything went until June 1st. So this is the very first cog in the wheel of trading Trey Lance. How are you going to trade Trey Lance 5 weeks before you can do an assessment on Brock Purdy's arm and when he's going to be ready? You had Kyle Shanahan talk about, we got to go back and we got to see it. So yeah, I'm scrolling down. Again, just talking about the timeline and all of those things. Here we go. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking about Brock Purdy at the time.
We start phase 1, so I expect everyone back at that time. So I think he'll do his rehab down here, and then I'm sure he'll move it to us, and he won't be able to do anything on the field for who knows. I think it can go anywhere from 6 months to 8 months. So it's all open like that. I think we'll have a better idea. They say at 3 months out of surgery, they have a better idea whether it's going to be 6 months or 8 months. So I don't know. It's how it heals, and I'm sure I'll get lots of questions from you.
So there you go. We'll know that's June 1st, not June 1st, the first week of June. I keep saying that. I apologize. Again, just to back this up, where are the 49ers in agreement? Here's John Lynch.
And, I think as I understand, around 12 weeks, we'll know a lot more. That's when he can start throwing. And that's when I think you really start to know a little bit more about timelines. But all things are going really well.
So, all right, all things are going well, but 12 weeks. When's 12 weeks? First week of June. 5 weeks after the draft. So, If you're the Niners, and let's just say hypothetically, right? I want to play this out with a couple different scenarios and flesh this out because I want to give credence to, okay, do I think Trey's getting traded? Absolutely not. I do not. Okay. But that doesn't mean I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. That's okay. So if the 49ers did trade Trey, I want to play that out. What draft picks would it take to get him? Who could you draft with that? Right? What's the high end? Again, I'm not trading Trey unless I'm getting a top 15 pick with a conditional pick next year. That's me, John Chapman. Other people are saying, oh, it's going to take a second, some change. Okay. We'll play that out. We'll see who we could draft. And I want you to be able to make your decision on what you think will happen and if it is quote unquote worth it. Right? Don't agree with me. I'm a moron. But hopefully I can provide some context in a way that's not, I don't know, clickbaity or 100% just on conjecture to what's going on here. Now, I will say this. I do not believe at all that this source is coming from the 49ers. I don't. The Niners don't like talking to Ian Rapoport and putting that stuff out there. They have not. They have never chosen to use him. Whenever he has put stuff out there, he has been incredibly wrong on speculating on 49ers future moves. It's pretty damn hard to find those, right? Did anybody know the 49ers were trading up? Nobody. Did anybody know the 49ers were trading Trey Lance? Nobody. Did anybody know the 49ers were keeping Debo? Nobody. Whenever I say nobody, I'm talking national media. Schefter, Pelissero, Garofalo, all those guys, and Rappaport, chief amongst them. None of them knew. None of them knew. None of them. And Shanahan has been adamant. This is my favorite part of today's episode. Let me just say I love Juan Salas. That man is incredible because we have built such a huge data. We've been doing this for the draft will be 8 years. This will be my 8th year as soon as the draft starts of doing this show. I don't even know what episode we're on. Episode 829. And Juan came aboard. That dude is family. I love that man. And we have this giant database of all these clips from press conferences from the draft so many years ago and whatever else. We got the receipts, baby. We got the receipts. So I went digging, scrolling a ridiculous amount this morning. This is a clip. I freaking love this. This is a clip from Kyle Shanahan right after they drafted Trey Lance. And he was asked, man, why everybody thought you were taking back Jones? Why didn't you correct the media? This is a minute 20 seconds. This is the best minute 20 seconds of your day. That's what she said. Enjoy this clip. Oh, this is awesome. Just on the national media being wrong. So just enjoy right here.
I thought that could be an advantage for us, especially when you look into stuff that just came out today, stuff that, you never know with this league. And if the whole NFL is assuming you're doing one thing and you're not doing that, I'm not going to work hard. And John, we're not going to work hard to correct that. So let that be. And whatever way that went, it was going to go. And it was crazy to watch where it all went. But no one has known anything but us. So it's been fun to watch it. I haven't been in many situations in my career like that. And when you get an opportunity to go through something like that, it is really cool to find out about people in your building, how they handle it. It's really cool to kind of watch people in the media too a little bit and just see who gives opinions, who gives some sources that you watch it and it's you're like, all right, I know that's not true. So where's that? And you get to see people for 2 months and how things are. And I haven't been in many situations like that. And it was kind of neat to see. You learn a lot about your organization. You learn a lot about other people. And, but you try to lower your head and you try to do what's right and not be affected by any of that. And it's just been interesting to watch and sure glad that it's over. I'm glad that we got our guy. I'm glad we feel so good about it. And I'm just pumped to get him here.
Dude, I don't know. This is awesome. That was a couple years ago. And yeah, there's some questions to, Trey and the development, how they use them and all. I totally understand those things. I understand that. But when have the 49ers leaked something like this? Do you remember when Kyle Shanahan got hired? Kyle Shanahan picked his GM, John Lynch. And John Lynch said, let's wait it. Let's give it a couple of days, right? Let's give it a couple of days. I want to make sure this information doesn't get out there. It was almost like a test. We knew this after the fact. We didn't know this about the time. Nobody knew John Lynch was even a name. Shanahan taps him. They hire him. Boom. John Lynch came out and said, I wanted to know what type of organization this is. So I gave him some time. I wanted to see if this would get leaked out. It didn't get leaked out. I joke around. I even made the shirt, 49ers don't leak. I understand that sometimes they do leak some things. This ain't it. Why would the 49ers go about something that is total? And even Rapoport said, this is not coming from the 49ers. This is not. I don't know, man. The same people that were like, the 49ers were reaching out about Mac Jones and all that stuff. And then it comes out like, nope, 100% that conversation never took place.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.